What's up, everybody? It's your boy Showtimedr, and this is going to be your Cherie build guide. Cherie is an excellent unit, so let's get into her here. Let's see if I can do this quicker. So her passive here, when you get her, when no allies are within 2 blocks, attack and defense increases by 10%, which is frequently useful because she has more mobility than pretty much all units in the game that are not flyers. Gain 1 more chance to attack after eliminating an enemy with a 4-turn cooldown when it starts. Now just to show you guys how that changes, eventually as you upgrade her star level, it's going to be damage taken reduced 15%, and the cooldown goes down to 3 turns on the... And then it goes to 20% damage reduction, cooldown stays the same at 5-star, then a 6-star, eventually 25%, and cooldown goes to 2 turns, so... just makes her a really good hit-and-run unit as far as getting kills and maximizing kills. So let's get into her now. So her stats, you're going to want her with as much XP as possible because she's pretty squishy. As much attack as possible because you really want those one-hit kills for her passive to go down. Defense, and especially magic defense, because casters and archers frequently find her in their range. And then skill gives you crit chance, so skill's obviously pretty important too. But most important stats, probably attack and magic defense, HP, to be perfectly honest. Now we're going to go into her passives here. Now, this is the skill that you usually fly up to a unit you're trying to snipe so that you can proc her extra attack on the 1st or 2nd turn. Attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.5 damage. When an enemy is eliminated, the cooldown decreases by 3. You see how it has a 3-turn cooldown. So essentially... if you manage to kill someone with this, and you use this skill, she's going to reset her turn on a 4-turn cooldown, eventually 2 turns when you get her to 6-star, and she has this cooldown back as well. Or I should say that differently. She's going to reset her turn so that she can take another turn. Full movement and everything. And lightning is also going to be back if you use lightning to kill somebody, so there's the potential to go up and kill someone or get some heavy damage in on another person with lightning. That's pretty cool. And then a passive, troop HP above 90%, attack and defense increased by 10%. Just helps her overall get those multipliers up. Now, as you're getting her scrolls and stuff, you're gonna see what new skills need to be gotten there. Right here, we're gonna get into our soldiers in a little bit. But we'll do that on the other side. Equipment, I'll show you guys more equipment later. I'm struggling to find her a good chest piece, and I haven't got an accessory for her yet. But try to get her max of whatever else you got SR-wise with the yellow plate over. Anything yellow plate or rainbow plate, super good. Silver plate's okay. Brown's bad, just like everything in Gacha gaming. Let's go ahead and go to the classes now. Now, there is pretty much one very acceptable build for her out of all the people I've talked to, and that is to go from Hawk Knight all the way down to Dragon Master. I'll give you guys what the other classes do, and keep in mind too, if you're unfamiliar with this game, you can master everything, and then switch the skills and the troops over and unlock them into other classes as well. Real quick, class masteries. You know, she has a lot of skill if you notice, so she has a chance to get a whole bunch of crit hit. Every time you master one of the classes, you get these, so these are what they all are. Now, real quick, I'll go into the side... Now, let me go into the main build for the people that are here for the main build. So, when you get to... Currently, I have her as a Dragon Knight. The passive is, once you master it, after attacking, restores 20% of troop HP. This is going to be very excellent, because your troops are always your first line of defense, and she is fairly squishy. And especially if an archer or a mage gets a hold of her, it's not good. But frequently, she's also attacked by flyers, and sometimes knights can track her down if she's on land. Assassins, if you're unlucky. So you gotta really try to keep your troops alive when you can. Now, the troops that are actually here, you got your Griffin Rider. He shares the same weaknesses as her. You know, fairly good attack, not that great tanky, but, you know, you just keep upgrading him, get his HP up. I actually gotta work on that. And if you want, you can also get a cavalry. Now, the only time I would recommend using the cavalry trooper is when there's a bunch of infantry on the map, and you just want to go wreck them real quick. Definitely not if there's lancers on the map, but if there's infantry, that's going to help her. That's going to help her stay alive because they're going to tank infantry better because they're going to kill more infantry. So that's my recommendation for these troops. Now, as you keep going down, you're going to eventually unlock Dragon Master. These troops are pretty much the same thing, they just have different passives. Soldier HP above 80%, attack and defense up 10%. And then same thing with the cavalry, attack is 7%. I think I forgot to go over their base skills here. Initiating combat, damage taken is decreased by 10% for the elite cavalry. And then basically the same decreased damage instead of attack and defense 10% for the Griffin Riders as opposed to the Dragon Master, or whatever, the Griffin Knights rather. Now as far as skills go, Wind Whisper. Physical deals 0.3 AoE damage to nearby enemies and debuffs each target. What the debuffs are, apparently it's pretty random. I have seen in this game that they have debuffs and major debuffs. So I'm guessing these are more like the, you know, decrease attack, decrease recovery amount or something similar. That's probably what it is. The range is 1 block, so she has to be fairly mobile to get this off. But in the right situation, it could be pretty good, especially if you do a hit and run where you go in and snipe a unit. And then you could just deal an AoE and then follow up with your other units. Now Thunderbolt, this is going to be a single target. Range is just a single guy. 5-turn cooldown, deals 1.6 times damage and grants Wind Pressure and Wind Ride after the battle. So Wind Pressure and Wind Ride, those are both 2 buffs. We don't have a list of what the buffs currently do, unfortunately, but I have seen Wind Pressure before. Don't know if it works the same way as it does on this item, but the item, it was basically you take reduction in range damage. I believe it was around 10%. So that's what I remember that being. Wind Ride, I'm not sure. It sounds like it's either going to be some type of mobility buff, or maybe something to where when you travel a certain amount of squares, you deal extra damage or something similar. I'm not sure. If anyone can clarify those, let me know, because I looked on the wiki. The wiki doesn't have them right now. Would love to get that information out. But this is eventually where you want your Cherie to be as a Dragon Master. Now, I'm going to go show you guys the other builds, or the other classes you can possibly take, rather, and maybe it makes more sense for your group. We'll see. So, Pegasus Lord. Cool thing about Pegasus Lord is active skill restores 60% of troop HP on a 3-turn cooldown. That's very strong to help keep your troops up. Now, Dragon Knight, the way that that one works is after attack, you get 20% of the HP back, you know, assuming you survive. But this one is on cooldown active, 60% HP, so... it's going to eat up your turn, though. That's the only thing about that, but that's the way it goes. Then you get the Pegasus Rider. When attacked with a ranged attack, damage taken is decreased by 20%. So these guys are actually superior to most of the other troops on the same ranking level as far as taking range damage. Still weak to archers, but they're going to take less damage. They're going to help you tank a little bit better. Never a bad thing. And then the same thing with the Knights. When battling against demons, attack and defense increases by 20%. So possibly really good for demon maps, when you're fighting big demon raid bosses, etc. Strong against infantry, so once again, you could recommend the paladins against an infantry, but lancers are pretty much a no-go. And just so you guys know, because I know a lot of you are new to this game, let me show you something real quick. So as you unlock the classes and master the classes, you are going to get to unlock the troops. You see they're all locked here right now. And you are also going to unlock the passives, which you can have up to 3 active, or excuse me, the passives and the actives. You can have up to 3 going at a time, and you change them out here. So it is possible to, say, be a Pegasus Lord with a skill from here, a skill from here, maybe a skill from here, and then have the troops of the Raider or whatever. You know, all types of crazy stuff is possible in this game. So right here, we're going to go over to the Raider. So the Raider, it's going to change her class, first of all, to Assassin. So buyer beware. This is going to drastically reduce her mobility. But there are some interesting passes when I was looking at this earlier. When initiating combat, crit is increased by 10%. Damage taken is decreased by 20%. That would actually be really sexy on a Dragon Master. That would actually be a really sexy passive. Now, the troops you're going to get Assassin troops, Ambusher, and the Kunoichi. The Ambusher, his crits increased by 20%. They're both weak to melee. And what's funny is, the Kunoichi, her crits increased by 20%, but she also gets critical hits, deal 1 random debuff to an enemy. So technically, I don't see why you wouldn't use the Kunoichi over the male guy here. Sorry, Mr. Ambusher. Unless you're just into ambushers, so... It looks like maybe he has more base attack. And they have more base defense, not sure. That might just be a troop upgrade thing. And then if you decide to go all the way to High Master... Shadow Raid. Physical damage. Ignores guards and attacks the enemy hero directly, dealing 1.3 times damage. So essentially, the troops don't exist on this one. You're just instantly going for the hero, which can be really powerful. Assassins are known for this at in-game and high mid-game. They're one-shot heroes. That's why it's real hard to do Assassins early game, because they don't have the gear and the upgrades necessary to one-shot most of the time. But in this case, this would be a super sexy thing for Dragon Master as well. So the passive here, smoke before initiating combat, 30% chance to decrease damage taken by 30% last one turn. You know, it could be decent for some hidden run builds where you know that the enemy has high mobility. Maybe that's going to save your butt one time. Generally, I don't invest too much into proc skills personally, but that's just a personal preference. You can do whatever you wish. Now, Bandit, these are the upgraded version of like the Ninja Troopers from before. This time, crits increased by 10 and his attack is increased by 5%. Same weaknesses, same movement, etc. And instead of the Kunoichi, we get an Archer unit now, the High Elf Archer. Cool thing about the High Elf Archer, attack and defense increases 10% in the woods and mountain terrain. So depending on what terrain you're fighting, this may actually be a good trooper to bring, especially for... I could see this being like, you have a Dragon Master, and then you're fighting in a mountainous area, so you actually bring the High Elves, and you can travel at your leisure, and there's other flower units that come around and chase you, and, you know, not only is Cherie hitting them hard, but you got these High Elf Archers on the ground just plucking them out of the sky. So that'd be really cool. But my overall recommendation, though, if you're going to do... Because most people are going to go Dragon Master, which is the clear choice, right? But if you're going to go Pegasus Lord, Raider, and High Master... Try to, hopefully by that point we'll know exactly how many resources we need. Try to just get everything in one fell swoop, which means you are going to go here, you are going to have all the upgrading mats for each and every one of these. It'll probably be 4 at that point. And you are just going to sweep it, be done with it, master it. And, you know, easier said than done, because it's going to take a long time to farm that, months probably, you know, for all these. And then just be done with it, and then go back to whatever your main class is. That's what I would tell you. It uses this currency when you change your trajectory here. And this isn't exactly, well, I guess I don't know for sure, but so far it hasn't been easy to get currency. And same thing with the Raider, because remember, she's going to turn into an assassin if you're going to come down here for High Master and get these offensive abilities. So that's going to require a bit more farm. But that option's there for you. Or hell, maybe you just want her to be an assassin for whatever reason. Maybe there's another flower unit that comes out later. Who knows? But right now, so we're going to go into the gear. Let's see. So I'm going to give you guys a list of gear that I was looking at that I thought was pretty good for her. Once again, you know, this is SSR gear, so farming it, etc. Gonna be an issue, but we'll get to it here. So for weapons, there's actually 5 weapons I was looking at. Let me find some of them. Broken Star, nope. Blue Star is what I'm looking for. There it is. Alright, Blue Star. So at level 10, when you get it pumped up all the way, attack and defense and magical defense increase by 1% for every 1 block move before battle, up to 3%. Too bad that they capped that. But still, that's a good attack, defense, and magic defense buff. She's high mobility, so she's always going to be moving. So this is a perfectly acceptable weapon for her. Yggdrasil Branch. Defense plus 2% in battle ignores 3% of enemies' defense, so that ignored defense is the main reason why I'm looking at it here. And then, what else did we have? Curse Lance? Yeah, Curse Lance. When initiating combat, defense increases by 3%, magic defense increases by 3%. After battle, 25% chance to deactivate enemies' active skills, preventing them from being healed. So, getting rid of an active skill, especially if you know you're attacking something really, you know, tanky, and you're not going to one-shot it, that's really nice to help her survivability a little bit. If she can't kill them and get that mobility to get away. And then prevent them from being healed as well, so that's just an added bonus. And then let's see, what were my other items here? I'm looking for Last Night and Peacemaker. Here's Peacemaker. Attack plus 2%. Before initiating combat, 25% chance to nullify the enemy's passive skills. I mean, I shouldn't have to say much for that. Last 2 turns. Passive skills, very important in this game, so if you can get rid of them, it's actually pretty gnarly. And then we're looking for Last Night. Sorry, I wish I could, like, order these, but I really can't. Come on, where's it at? Oh, there it is. Okay. Attack plus 2%. Before initiating combat, 25% chance to reduce the enemy's attack and intelligence by 20% lasts a turn. Gonna be really good when that goes off to help her survivability, because once again, she's gonna be fighting archers, she's gonna be fighting casters, and she's also going to be fighting air units for the most part, so being able to gimp their attack stats, super good. Now we're gonna get the armor here. There's a couple armor pieces. Monkey King's Vest actually was one of them. So when attacked, attack and crit increase by 3%. So just helps her hit that much harder. I believe the other one was like this one. But I'm looking for Last Rites. Let's see. There it is. Defense plus 2. When HP equals 100%, damage taken is decreased by 40%. So that's super excellent because oftentimes you're going to go into a battle and maybe you just don't get that kill and you're in a bad position. Well, when someone attacks you at 100%, the damage taken is going to decrease by 40, greatly increasing her survivability, and especially if you can get a heal on her or do some of her regen talents that she has. I could see this piece of armor actually being really good for her. I'll be aiming for that one in particular, actually. Now, helmets. From what I saw, there was no really amazing helmet from her, just your typical stuff that stacks defense and stuff. This was the one that kind of caught my eye, though. HP and defense 1%. After taking action, 25% chance to decrease damage dealt by 15% for one enemy within 2 blocks. So if she's close enough to an enemy, and she just killed somebody, and maybe she didn't get the kill on the second enemy, etc., you're going to decrease their damage, improve her survivability a bit. As far as I saw, though, there was really no SSR helm that was particularly bad for her. So let's see here. We are looking for... There's a lot of these. One of them's going to be Slayer Emblem. Elven Ring. No, I'm looking for Elven Belt. There's Slayer Emblem. So attack plus 1.5%. When battling against flyers, attack increases by an extra 4%. This I could see on a map with a bunch of flyers, you know, because you're dealing that 5.5% extra damage to flyers at that point, 1.5% to everything else. Oftentimes, Cherie's attacked by flyers because they got the same mobility quirks that she has. So I could see that being good. And the other crazy thing about this is this... Oh, never mind. That was all dumb. Alright, so Thor's Necklace is another. Attack 1%. Before initiating combat, 25% chance to deal fixed damage once to the enemy. Damage equals 1 time the hero's attack. Well, if you can deal fixed damage, you get that proc, and then you follow up with your real damage, you kill somebody, you get your extra turn. You know, that's just going to help you move right along there. Now I'm looking for Overlord Badge and Elven Belt. Here's Elven Belt. When attacked with a ranged attack, defense and magic defense increases by 2% in battle. This is on dangerous maps where you really want to take Cherie for either like a scouting, trying to get the treasure, or trying to pick off a unit type maps. So, but if they have a bunch of archers on them, this will help her survive a little bit more, because you're probably not going to be engaging the archers. It's just going to deflect their damage a little bit. Now I'm looking for Thor's Necklace. So let's see here. I kind of went back and forth on most of these. Like, what would be good to show the people? What would be good to show the people? Funny, because none of these look like necklaces, but then again, I'm not Thor. There we go. Did I go over this one already? Oh, I'm looking for Overlord Badge. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I think next time in the follow-up videos, I'm going to write down exactly where these are. Overlord badge. There it is. Okay. All stats plus 1%. Immune to defense and M defense down, which can be super huge for her. Attack and intelligence down, mobility down. So if you have a map where there's a lot of debuffs being thrown out, especially in like PvP map, this is actually going to be really useful on her because it'll help keep her mobility up, not give any of her stats, and give her a little bit of a stat boost. So, and that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. So hopefully that was a little bit quicker. Getting a little bit better at these videos as we go along. But if you don't know me, yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtimedr. You found my YouTube. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, check the title info. There's a link to my Discord as well as my Twitch. Stream this game. I'm streaming this game right now most days. Probably move it to like 2 to 3 times a week when I get things rolling with all my other stuff I got going on. And then also our Discord. You know, we got a tab for this game. Come in, ask your questions, chat, show off if you want. And you can also put together some multiplayers, etc. too. So, that's just the way it is. I'll catch you guys later. Have yourselves a great day.